If you're looking to make solar simple, give Ron Domenico with AD Energy a call. All-day energy made simple. Solar solutions with zero down, options to lease or finance, and roofs and trees are no issue. Call Ron Domenico at 609-226-2802 and tell him you saw him on the Sports Box.
Well, hello again, and welcome to the show that, man, it just makes your word depends all the time. This is the Sports Box. The only opinion that matters. That's right.
Yeah.
It's right here. Yeah. I am Michael at a.k.a. Hamilton Mike, along with my partner, Brian, the Ranger Retard. Brian, how are you?
I would have bet my house you were throwing the second Frisbee. There was no way that was going to sit there.
I would have thrown a helmet. Then I'd get pissed that I threw the helmet, but that's all right. We'll go. Today we are talking about our NHL predictions. Again, we go off to the Pacific Division. We go out west to talk about those Anaheim, and I'm not going to say it, Ducks. So the Mighty Ducks. We're going to talk about the Calgary Flames as well. So, this is an interesting matchup, Brian. This is kind of the balance of the West. This is kind of both teams, I think, are on par with each other. You talk about Anaheim, they come in at 6th overall, and Calgary comes in at 15th. But I think, again, during the season, we left Calgary for dead. And Calgary came storming back. Mm-hmm. We thought they had goaltending issues. Johnny Gaudreau had been out for a little bit of time. And here they are, Calgary Flames in the playoffs.
I find myself, again, looking at the win-loss matchups here. They both won 45 games.
It is unbelievable.
They both won 45 games, yet the Ducks are 105 points and the Flames 94.
They're 9 points in front.
11 point difference with the same amount of wins.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But you look at the overtimes again, 13.
Sure. Yeah. It's whatever. But again, these are two very interesting teams, and I think that offensively, both of these teams, they really don't score. They're below average in goals scored. And when you say that about a team like Anaheim, I think it's a bit surprising. Because, Anaheim, you always think of Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf and some of the stars that they have there. Yep. But really, if you look at who their leading scorers were this year, Corey Perry was 5th in goals on this team. Mm-hmm. Richard Rakell, 33 goals. Patrick Eaves, who they got from Dallas, 32.
Ryan Kesler from Vancouver a couple years ago.
Yeah, Jacob Silfverberg, the guy that they got from Ottawa. It's a team that there's a bit of a changing of the guard in that it's not the same old Ducks that are leading the team.
No, they got a good mix of veterans and some young youth.
Yeah, they do. And even defensively, I like what they're building there too.
Yep.
On the other side of it, a lot more youth in Calgary.
Absolutely.
Between Monahan, Gaudreau, even Michael Backlund's not that old. Yep. It's an interesting group of guys they have there. I'm a Sean Monahan fan myself. I think he's criminally underrated.
TJ Brody, Wiedemann, you got some guys there that have been around the league, got some veteran leadership there, but like you said, for the most part, they're a young team.
Yeah.
Even Chris Versteeg is there.
Chris Versteeg.
Hey, you keep knocking him. He's got 15 goals this year.
No, Chris Versteeg, listen.
Jumped around the league.
Hold on. Sports Box fans know I am not a Flyers fan.
No.
Far from.
No.
But I'm reminded.
Get out of here.
Wait, hold on.
Where's the light? Where's the freaking light?
I'm reminded of when they traded a first and a third for Chris Versteeg.
You know what? Why don't we have a show where you can just berate me and throw stones at me?
We do. It's called the Sports Box.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
Sorry.
Anyway, let's talk about the Ducks Calgary.
Well, you brought up Chris Versteeg.
Yeah, you went off on a Flyers tangent, whatever.
I do that.
Anyway,
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, you talk about the Calgary Flames
I
again.
need a drink after that.
Anyway, Johnny Gaudreau hurt for a couple games. We thought they would struggle, but he came back, had a nice season, 18 goals, 43 assists, back on track. New Jersey's own Johnny Gaudreau, by the way. Mm-hmm. This Calgary team. You want to say that they're very outmatched, but you know what? I don't think they're that far outmatched. I mean, Brian Elliott's come back. He's played well. 2.55 goals against, save percentage over 9. On the other side, Jonathan Bernier. Why did I say Bernier? Bernier.
You were going for that.
I was trying, yeah. Bernier has played well since he's come over to the Ducks, 21-7. And John Gibson, 25-16, the starter, 2.22 goals against. So the goaltending for the Ducks is good. I know they go back and forth a little bit. I think Gibson will be the starter.
Yep.
I think this is going to be a tight series. I really do. I think you can't leave Calgary out for dead. I really don't.
Well, here's to me what's interesting about the series to me. I think this series is going to be won or lost by Calgary on what they do defending directly in front of their net.
Yeah.
Anaheim is a much more of a physical team than Calgary is. That's their DNA. They've been a physical team for a while. And if you look at where the Ducks score a lot of their goals, they tend to be right in the crease, right in the slot. They're tip-in goals or they're greasy goals. They're right there. Yeah. And for a team like Calgary that doesn't have a whole lot of size, I'm not just picking on Gaudreau because he's small.
No, they are a small team.
But they're not a very physical team. No. They're a team that's going to try to beat you, more with finesse, but, average defense, average offense. Special teams are both above average, but they're the difference in the series is going to be if Calgary is able to score on that very, very good Ducks penalty killing,
the third power play killing,
yeah. And then again, it's the Ducks' ability to score goals from very, very close to the net. That's where they use their size. For me, again, I look at these teams and their record, and it just bothers me that the Ducks and the Flames have the same record and 11 points more. Yeah. I like the Ducks in the series. I think the Ducks win this, and I'm gonna go 5 in this series, only because I just don't think that Calgary will be able to defend against that low presence, that net front presence that the Ducks have, that physicality the Ducks have, and I think that for the Ducks they're a little bit more diverse in their goal scoring. I mean, they have if you count Corey Perry at 19 as 20, they have 5 20-goal scorers. Flames only have 2. Gaudreau might have got 3. Would have been the third one if he wasn't hurt. Calgary's going to have to play really good defense to win this series. I don't foresee that. So give me the Ducks in probably a shorter series. I'll go 5.
Here we go. Calgary, I think, can steal one in Anaheim. And believe it or not, I think the Flames can sneak this series out. It's not going to be a close one. It's going to be a knockdown, drag-up, beat-out series. I'm taking the Flames in 7. I think the Flames can pull it off. I think even though they're not a banging team, I think they're a little bit better in goal with Brian Elliott in goal than as the newly Gibson in goal, who's been there, never been there, done that before. It's his first time in there. I'm gonna take the Flames in 7. I think they can pull it off.
You're gonna have a lot of fans out in Alberta.
You know what? Again, people hate me. I don't care. Hate mail, love it. And but before your hate mail, before you get that, make sure you check out our sponsor.
This episode of the Sports Box is brought to you by Mic'd Up Entertainment and DJ Mike Velardi. For all of your event planning needs, make sure you contact Mike at 609-864-5925 and tell him that you saw him on the Sports Box.
There you go.
So now we go off to our next matchup. We talk about the Edmonton Oilers against those pesky San Jose Sharks.
Talk about youth versus experience, huh?
I'll tell you what. You want to talk about Anaheim? You want to talk about Edmonton? Turning this ship around. Well, you know what? Getting 5 picks in the last 7 years helps too. Connor McDavid tearing it up this year. You look at this Edmonton team, 8th overall in the league, 8th in offense, 8th in defense, 6th on the power play. They are 17th on the power play kill, but that's really the only chink in the armor I see with this Edmonton team. It's sometimes hard to predict a team just getting into the playoffs their first year, but you know what? This Edmonton team, they're steamrolling in. They're ready to go.
The last playoff game that the Oilers played was
God, give it to me.
Game 7 of the 2005-2006 Stanley Cup Finals where they lost to Carolina.
Amazing.
They haven't made the playoffs since.
And you look at the points in these two teams. Edmonton's 101 and the Sharks are 99. So the Sharks are no slouch. It's not like they're a pushover in this league, but Edmonton's playing so well.
We both thought that Edmonton was going to be a fringe playoff team. I don't think anybody thought they were going to be as good as they were this year. Yeah. And it's credit to them. Who would have thought that trading Taylor Hall away
that we thought was nuts,
which I still think is insane, but I can't argue with the results, would be what this team needed. It's just that part of it boggles my mind. As a Rangers fan, I'm not surprised that Cam Talbot's played as well as he has.
Yep.
Talbot had to leave New York. I think that was a fait accompli.
But to play as well as he did when he got traded away has really helped them out. And you got on the other side Martin Jones, who's been there, done that, gone to the finals last year. It's going to be definitely a goaltending matchup that's going to be interesting. I kind of lean towards Martin Jones a little bit because the experience with Cam Talbot not being there and being the man now. But with this Edmonton team, I mean, you look down the roster and like I said, they are scoring clips and bounds. They're scoring, or they're having 31 shots on goal a game, which is outlandish in the last couple of years with Edmonton. And they're scoring 3 goals a game, almost 3 goals a game. So I mean, this Edmonton team, you can't say anything bad about it. They're rolling on all cylinders.
No, listen,
other than they're young. I mean,
they are, but why is that a bad thing?
It's definitely not a bad thing.
Listen, For San Jose, you know, I remember last year I found myself picking against San Jose like in every series, and they went to the finals. So I'm reminded of that.
I did too.
I'm reminded of that.
I didn't have him get out of the first round.
Yeah, but Brent Burns, what a year!
Yep.
29 goals on defense. That is fantastic. Where would this team be?
Yeah,
without Brent Burns?
You look at Brent Burns with, I don't know if a defenseman is really leading your team in points. I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, it's good in the sense that he's a defenseman, he's giving you assists and everything, but in the other sense, you got guys on this team getting a little long in the tooth. You do have veteran leadership with Joe Thornton, Logan Couturier, younger guy, but Patrick Merlot, been there, done that. A lot of these guys are a little bit older, and the veteran leadership has to catch up to you after a while. I did say last year they weren't going to get out of the first round. They proved me wrong. I think San Jose does lose a step a little bit this year. This Edmonton team, there's really no chink in the armor except that the power play kill is a little bit lax.
Well, here's for me. Again, I believe Edmonton wins the series.
I do too.
I'm going to go with youth over experience.
Yep.
I think the top end of San Jose, Thornton and Marleau, I don't think they have another run in them. I think last year was somewhat of a surprise.
Yeah.
Here's where I think is a very interesting subplot to this whole series. San Jose scores a lot of their goals by deflection. Mm-hmm. Whether it's Burns shooting it or they take shots from the point they get deflected, they scored
a lot of crease
a lot of goals, whereas Edmonton's more, sometimes tips or stuff like that. Yeah. To me, I love Edmonton's depth. Edmonton's got high end. When you start picking first overall a bunch of times, you're gonna have high end players.
You're gonna
because you're gonna be picking early in other rounds too. Very balanced team. 8th on offense, 8th on defense. Power play is fantastic. Penalty killing.
And people thought that Milan Lucic going there, Lucic was going to be the end of his career, but guess what? He's played well. He's playing well, and he's giving the kids veteran leadership.
Here's the thing for me that's actually kind of surprising: to have a weapon like Brent Burns on your blue line and be 24th in power play. That's shocking to me. Mm-hmm. That speaks volumes about how bad the rest of this team is comparatively.
Joe Pavelski's have a good year too.
Yeah, but it's just from a San Jose Sharks perspective, the one weakness that you can possibly talk about in Edmonton is their penalty killing. It is below average.
Yep.
But if your power play is awful, you can't capitalize on that.
Correct. You gotta try to capitalize on everything else during the game. And that's tough.
Sure. Again, San Jose is a better home team than Edmonton is. I think San Jose can win two of the games at home. I don't think it's a short series by any stretch.
No,
I think it probably goes 7, frankly, and I think that going to test the mettle of a young team. But just I just think Connor McDavid's the best player in the league, and given that as my litmus test, I love Brent Burns. I'll take Connor McDavid. Edmonton and 7.
Can you help me with this too, Dristali? Correct. Leon Dristali.
Oh, Draisaitl. You were close. You were actually nowhere close to anything.
Well, that's okay. What a surprise. McDavid, Lucic. You got Nugent Hopkins. I mean, these guys, folks. You're going to see a lot of these names in the playoffs. Trust me, you're going to see them like the lamp. I don't think it's going to be that. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, and I don't think it's going to be obviously 4 or 5. But I do. I think San Jose, like Brian said, that run last year was magical. I don't think they have another run in them like that. And like I said, this Edmonton team, whether they move on after the second round or not is going to be interesting. But I definitely think their first time in, they're ready to go to move on to the first round. And if they don't, it's going to be a very disappointing season. But I think Edmonton does move on past this round in 6.
For me, I think the addition of Andrej Sekera on defense was a very unheralded move a couple years ago. He really played well for this team this year, the second year. It's going to come down to their defense. I don't like San Jose's defense outside of Burns, and really I like his offense. So for me, I just think this is going to be a series that and those fans. Listen, we talked about how nuts the fans in Toronto are going to be.
Yeah.
Those fans in Edmonton for Game 1 of this series are going to be out of their mind.
Out of their mind. They might rock all the banners down from the ceiling.
And that's what you love about Canadian teams.
Yep.
I got to tell you. But again, these two teams both won 46 games. Very, very similar teams. But Edmonton's just doing it better. More balanced.
Yep.
Which with really. You take a look at some of the young, exciting teams in the league, and you look at Edmonton, Toronto. They're going to be great markets.
And again, if you get the first round pick or you get the first overall pick the last 6 years, you get it like 4 or 5 times. You're going to hit with guys, and they got lucky with Connor McDavid. But I mean,
to their credit, actually, you look back at some of the guys that taken first overall that have not worked out.
You know what? NHL is probably hard to draft.
Yeah,
it's helped them to have a top 5 pick a lot of these years.
Sure, but if you look at the fact that Taylor Hall's gone.
Yep.
Yakupov,
which was a big game.
Yakupov, big bust. Ended up in St. Louis. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, I don't think anybody would say has played well enough to be considered the best guy in that draft.
No.
And the fourth guy was McDavid.
He's played well.
It took them 4 first overall picks to hit one.
To get chemistry too with what
Sure,
they have there.
yeah,
So yeah,
sure.
And then Cam Talbot, like we said, never thought he would be the goaltender he is now. Well, now what do they have to go out and get a goaltender down the road? But you know what? I think he's okay. I think
I definitely think he's earned it.
Yeah.
You know, and I give him credit.
Change of scenery, and he's the man now.
Yeah.
Let's see how he is in the playoffs. Now that could be the only Edmonton downfalls if Cam Talbot falls apart in that, but I don't see it happen.
I think the goaltending is pretty even, actually. I like Martin Jones.
Yeah, Martin Jones has experience. Yeah, he has experience, and Cam Talbot's first run in there as the man. This is going to be interesting.
Well, for an older team in San Jose, again, they played a lot of hockey last year.
Yep.
So they're going to be. You want to talk about like being fresh?
Yep.
Again, San Jose had that run. That they played a lot of games.
Yep.
Edmonton had that problem when they're young. Again, Edmonton is 7 for me.
Yeah, and I got Edmonton in 6. So that's all the time we have. Thank you for watching the Pacific matchup for the NHL predictions. Keep an eye out. We always have good stuff coming, and there's other predictions that we've made. Check us out. You got to check the film out. Remember, you can always get us on social media.
Absolutely. You know we're everywhere. You know we're everywhere. We're all
Everywhere.
we're like Visa. Everywhere you want to be. Don't sue me.
We're getting sued again.
So we're on Facebook.
Legal.
We're on
legal.
Oh, they're fine. We're on Facebook at Sportsbox Show, on Twitter at Sportsbox Show, and of course this wonderful, glorious YouTube channel that you've come across today. Make sure you subscribe. Join the party.
Please join, because we need money bad. I'm just kidding. We're naturally happy. That's all we need.
When you say need money, where are you making money from again? Was it what are our income sources?
Yeah, that's true. We both work jobs. We both have fun here.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for watching, because the only opinion that matters at the Sports Box, remember, is still right here. Thanks for watching, folks. See you. 1, 2, 3.
Don't forget to subscribe.